Hello, everyone. My name is Andrew Blasi, and I'm the Chief Executive Officer of Ethicist International, a world-leading advisory services company dedicated to advancing good solutions at the center of ethics and policy to build trust in today's stakeholder-driven economy. We're very privileged to be working with leading Fortune companies, governments, and major institutions to tackle some of today's greatest ethical challenges. And it's a privilege for me to be able to do so in such a rapidly changing global economy. For senior executives and leaders today, it's critically important to be able to balance a number of key considerations. From my perspective, it's very important that we have well-balanced expertise and capabilities that cross a range of different areas within business. In the case of Ethicist International, it's critical for me in my role to not only be able to advance good policy and ethical solutions for organizations, but also to lead an organization, to lead a dynamic team, one that has a deep understanding, but a diverse set of skills and capabilities. So I think when you talk about building not just your foundational set of skills, but continue to enhancing and strengthening those skills over time, one has to really think about what types of platforms, programs, and other opportunities exist in order to be able to do exactly that. Leaders need a wide variety and diverse set of skills. So from an MBA program perspective, that was my experience in working and doing both the NUS and UCLA program, right? It was an ability to hone in not just on existing skill sets learned through longstanding practice within this particular profession, within this particular field, but be able to enhance that, to be able to diversify that across a wider array of areas that are critical in running world-leading companies. The fundamental truth is that business leaders today, especially those that have international remits, have to recognize that the global system as we've known it for the past 20 to 30 years is rapidly changing. Globalization 1.0 is shifting into globalization 2.0. And in order for business leaders to be able to prepare themselves and adapt to that environment, they need to really expose themselves to how fundamental aspects of business around the world are changing. It's no longer sufficient to operate on preconceived or old notions of what that means or what that entails. I think fundamentally, any leader desires to continuously build their skills, regardless of if they're an emerging leader still early on in their career or they're a bit progressed and furthering along their journey. Any good leader in business or otherwise would tell you enhancing and developing and strengthening those skills over time is essential to doing that. It's not so much about learning for the sake of learning that's important, but knowing that you're learning from some of the best. This program has a number of leaders across different disciplines and fields that have been very valuable to learn from in even thinking about my own journey and how I've been able to deploy those skills within a business like Ethicist over the past several years. If you are a business leader who aspires to be the best, you have to learn from the best. And I think this program is full of folks who have a lot of wisdom to share, and that wisdom that's actionable, right? Wisdom that is not something that once learned is either forgotten or if learned just kind of sits on the shelf for parties and cocktail conversations, but can actually be deployed right within any given environment in any given day, whether I'm going from a critical operations meeting directly into meeting with business leaders, with those we partner with around the world. So in my own experience in founding and leading a company that is inherently international, I've seen how those types of things can be deployed right on a daily basis, right? As again, whether it's in the work that we do to deliver excellence to our partners, or whether it's in strengthening our own internal capabilities, strengthening our own team, and preparing ourselves for the challenges that we see today and the opportunities of tomorrow. I was very blessed, you see, because before I started the NUS UCLA program, already for many, many years have been traveling around the world conducting business in capitals from Asia to the Americas to Europe, on a very regular basis. But in starting the program and immersing deeply within each of its sessions and modules, which are so nicely spaced out, right? That was one of the key attractors of this program. It is rigorous, it is immersive, but at the same time, it is doable for an executive's career, given the way that it is structured, which I hope the program will continue to be structured this way into the future. To me, the real blessing of the program was the wonderful shift in mindset that it really brought about, where you can also be traveling to distinct locations. You can be immersing yourself with peers and colleagues from different backgrounds with a very intentional effort to learn. Yes, it is very true that some of the best education and knowledge building comes from the day-to-day practice of business. That's been the hallmark of much of the success that I think we've seen in the lead up to me deciding to undertake this program. And of course, each and every day now, I'm continuously learning new things. The learning journey never ends. But to me, too, what was really special about doing the program and being able to travel to distinct locations around the region was this real concerted focus of marrying traveling and immersion with peers into learning, deep immersive learning like this with focused, specific, clear objectives in different subjects where you could really get a handle on some of the key content. So that's what I'll always keep with me, that you can really benefit from a deep concerted focus on learning. So the program, I think, does a nice job building in really diverse, but also very accomplished and aspirational people and ambitious people, but who have a lot of different, come from different walks of life, come from different cultures, come from different industries, come from different mindsets, come from different family backgrounds. All of that stuff plays an important role in building up diverse competencies and capabilities when dedicating yourself to a program like this. It's a great question, how to consider time management. I wouldn't sugarcoat it. It's pursuing an MBA program like this takes true commitment. It's not something that can be short shrifted. It's not something where you can cut corners. It takes a lot of time and it takes a lot of dedication. And you have to want to build skills in an immersive sense for the right reasons, right? I think it also takes working, in advance before you pursue a program like this, really with your family, with your colleagues, right? To make sure that you have the right support mechanisms in place where they're able to help you in pursuing that journey. So it's really important that you do that. On the other hand, I think it's also very possible, right? It's very doable. And I have to give a lot of credit to this program in particular. It's one of, but not the only, but one of the reasons that it's so attractive. The way that it's compartmentalized makes that time management capability a lot more possible, right? It makes it a lot more predictable. So I think that along those lines, if one is ready to really dedicate themselves to when they are attending each module, each session, they are fully present, they are fully committed, they are not distracted, they're ready to bring their best selves to each and every component, each and every session, they will get the most out of it, regardless of whether you believe will eventually form a company, you will pursue a different career path after the program, whether you will seek to build your seniority within your existing company. Whatever the ambition that you have, known or unknown professionally, when you're about to start the program, as I didn't know that I would be starting a company when I began my MBA journey, I would strongly give the advice that as you begin from the very beginning through to the very end of that program, as tough as that might be, because life changes over a period of 2 years, there's different moments of higher stress, higher obligation. Keep in mind that every element of that learning journey will prove useful and will prove helpful at some different point in time. I think a good lesson learned for my part, one that I'm also appreciative of at the same time, is every element of the program has a different way of generating value. Every element of the program has a different value-driving experience or value-driving skill-building area to build capability around. So keep that open mind. Keep that dedicated spirit. As they say in business all the time, lean into each part of the experience, and also take great notes. That would be my other advice. Collate everything. Build a repository where you can actually then go back to later once you've completed the program to go back and reference to it. Because I guarantee you, regardless of what that professional journey ends up being that comes your way or that you actively pursue, you'll be going back to those notes. You'll be going back to some of those experiences. You might even be going back to one of your old textbooks, which I've done from time to time for unique and innovative frameworks to address particular opportunities or challenges. So keep that open mind, lean into each different subject area, and keep a good repository of all those learnings.